Well, we went ahead and set all these solar panels up, but we're going to have to take them all down, do them one at a time because the wind keeps blowing them over. But we're ready to start. Well, this is going to be a fun and interesting video today because we're going to test out 6 different portable solar panels. Now, this video is not sponsored. I've covered these all in the past. Now you're going to find out how they've all done. The panels we're going to be testing is going to be the Bluetti 120 watt, the Bouge 120 watt, the X-Star 100 watt, the Itehil 100 watt, the Oupes 100 watt, and the Jackery Solar Sega 100 watt. And today we've got a clear sky. I've been waiting for months for today. Clear sky, not a cloud in the sky. We're going to set these panels up exactly the same, each one at the same angle and the same direction to the sun, and we're going to measure them one against the other. Okay, we've been waiting a long time for this day. There's not a cloud in the sky, and we should be able to get an even test on each and every one. Now, this testing procedure is only going to take us about a half an hour so that the sun's not going to move too much. Everything should be equal. You ready to start?
Yes.
It's cold. It's cold and it's windy. For getting our readings today, we're using an Oupes 1100. Linda's starting out with the Bluetti panel. It's a 120 watt panel. All the rest are 100 watts. Probably the hardest thing about these fold-up panels is the legs on the back, because you got to get 4 legs down. And it is windy today. All right. One thing we need to do is make sure the angle is exactly the same for these 6 sets of, or these 6 different solar panels. So I just made this little wooden jig just so I can make sure everyone is exactly the same and pointed directly at the sun. All right, each panel will be set to this angle. Okay, first we're going to get the reading just with it sitting at that angle, and then I'm going to move these panels and see if I can get an increase. What do you got here, Linda?
95.
Okay.
94. 96.
All right. That's really good, actually. All right, now watch it and look for a peak, okay?
All right. 98.
You don't have to call it out. Just call the highest number when you see it. Is it going down or up?
It's going down.
Okay.
Going back up. Okay.
What's the highest you saw?
95. No, 98.
Okay, so 98. 95 was at the 95 was at the given angle, and
It's 98 right now. 99.
Okay. Yeah, it's tilted up a little more than that.
It briefly flashes 100.
Well, write down 100 then. Okay, the next panel we're putting up is the Oupes 100 watt panel.
This one has that weird leg that comes out of the pocket.
All right, Linda.
87.
Okay, let's try tilting it and see what happens.
Yeah, you had 88 briefly.
Okay, I'm going to do it one more time.
Okay.
Starting down low.
78.
Okay. Going up or down?
Very barely going up.
Okay.
80.
Just watch for the highest reading before it starts going down again. Okay.
Okay.
What did you get?
83.
Okay. Well, so it put out 88 watts. 88 was the highest reading we got when it was at the same angle. So I guess we had it at the optimum angle.
Yeah, because as soon as you started messing with it, it went down.
Yeah, it went down.
Okie dokie. You ready for this one?
Ready for this one. This is the Itehil 100 watt panel.
Let's see how hard I can make this look. One leg. Oh, nice. Only 2 legs.
Only 2 legs on this one. Well, that makes it quicker to set up anyway.
I'll wait till this wind gust goes by.
Okay. Okay. Was that easier to set up?
It was.
Okay. All right, what do you have?
99, 100.
100 from a panel that's rated at 100 watts. So that's why I've suggested this Itehil panel. For the money, you better check this one out. Okay, I'm going to try tilting it up and down. See if we get an increase or decrease.
103.
Really? Okay, I'm going to start a little high. Okay, I'm going to go down, watch for it to build to where it, just tell me the highest one.
The highest I've seen is 106.
Okay.
Actually, 108.
Is that about it then?
Yep, 108.
108 watts from a 100 watt panel. Now there's a reason for that. The reason is you can make what you call a 100 watt panel, and it normally a 100 watt panel only puts out 85 watts at the max, or you can put out a panel that's actually a 110 watt panel or something and call it a 100 watt panel. That way your customers are more satisfied when they occasionally see 100 watts coming out of it. And that's actually a good marketing, and it's a better thing to do. If I buy a 100 watt panel, I'd like to see it put out 100 watts. Okay, this panel is the X-Star 100 watt solar panel. These are really easy to set up. You just fold them open, drop down 2 legs.
Yeah, there you go. Ta-da!
Yeah, these are definitely easier to put up. The taller panels, though, like this one, are not as good in the wind. Okay, yeah, what do you got right there?
96.
Okay. 96.
97, 98.
All right, I'm going to start tilting it. So 98 for the one with the angle. Okay, what's his reading now?
Ooh, 100.
Likes that, huh? Okay. Okay, here I go. What's it reading right now?
107. Going down.
Okay, we had a 107 there.
102.
You can go ahead and read them out loud.
103. 105. 106. Ooh, one. I couldn't have been right. 118. 119.
That could be right.
Yeah, 110.
Okay.
119.
119. Now I know that this panel sold as a 100 watt panel They actually rated at 110. We got a brief reading there of 118, 119 watts. That's the X-Star SP100 panel. Easy to set up, and it cranks. This is the Jackery Solar Sega 100 watt panel. It's the same basic design as the X-Star. Easy to set up. 2 legs on the back. Okay, this plugs in on this end down here on the Jackery.
Is it red to red or?
Yeah, red to red.
Okay.
Okay, we're pointing directly at the sun now.
58.
Okay, wait a minute, don't have it set up yet. Okay, one problem I'm having here is that these legs don't open up enough for me to lay this panel down lower. That's kind of it for this panel. So I'm going to have to hold this panel to get the readings. To get it to lay down, you're going to have to lay it on top of something. And in the when you got noontime sun and it's overhead, you'd have it laid down like this anyway. Okay, what's it reading, right? Wait a minute. Hold it. Okay, right there. What's it reading?
47.
47. That ain't good. All right, let me tilt it. Let's see what we get out of it.
Okay.
Okay, right about there. What is it?
48.
All right. So with the angle, it's getting 48.
49.
Okay.
50. It's going up, I guess.
All right. Let me start down and come up. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Call them out.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. 45. 46. 46. 51. 51. 54. It goes 56. 56, 55.
Okay, I haven't had real good luck with these Jackery panels myself. Now this is about a 2-year-old Jackery panel. Okay, the last panel we're doing is the BougeRV 120 watt panel, and it's a solid panel. Let's see how it does, Linda. This one has a nice case. Those latches, you rotate them. I don't remember if it's clockwise or counterclockwise, but...
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Counterclockwise, and then it opens up. There you go.
Oh, and this one has that.
Yeah, just loosen the little knurled,
This.
and then pull the legs out.
Okie dokie.
Ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, let me get the angle set right. Okay, like the Jackery, because of the stands, the way the stands are on this panel, it doesn't want to go all the way down. So what you would have to do, and what I'm going to have to do on this one, is to fold the stands up and lean it down to that same angle. So when the sun is high in the sky, you're going to have to lean this one on something also. Okay, yeah, what's the reading?
107, 108. Now it's 96.
Okay, but you had a 108 there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to vary a little bit. Okay?
Yep, it's hovering around 100.
Okay, let's call it 100 then. It's hovering around 100. And we'll see what it gets when I tilt it. Okay, I'll start down.
Okay.
Okay, call them out.
99, 99, 101, 102, 103, 4, 105, 106, 107, 108, 107, 109, briefly 108, 107.
So 107 was our highest there.
Yeah, 108.
Okay, now the next thing to do is to go back home, tally up all these scores and get the square area of each panel, and we'll figure out once and for all how they did. Well, that was sure interesting. I got the details right here. I'll put it up on the screen for you. But starting at the top, the Bluetti 120 watt panel, you see it had 900 square inches, 5,806 square centimeters. It put out 100 watts, and even when I was tilting the panel, the max I got out of it was 100 watts, for an efficiency of 0.111 watts per square inch. And the panel cost $299. The Oupes 100 watt panel, 765 square inches, 4,935 square centimeters. It put out 88 watts, had a max of 88 watts, and the efficiency was 0.115 watts per square inch and a cost of $250. The first figure I give you on the efficiency is where I had it set so that all the angles of all the panels matched. And the second figure on the output is when I was tilting it. Okay, now the third one was the Itehil 100 watt panel, 931 square inches, 6,006 cubic centimeters, or square centimeters, I'm sorry, square centimeters, 100 watts max, and when I tilted it, I got 108 watts, for an efficiency of 0.116 watts per square inches and a cost of $190. That's the least expensive panel that I tested today. The X-Star SP100 solar panel, 800 square inches, 5,160 square centimeters. It put out 118 watts, and when I tilted it, I got another watt out of it, 119 watts. For an efficiency of 0.149 watts per square inches. That's the highest one that I tested today, the most efficient one, and a cost of $269. The Jackery 100 watt panel, that's a Jackery solar Sega. It has 800 square inches, 5,160 square centimeters. It only put out 64 watts, and even when I tilted it, that was the max that we got was 64 watts. 0.08 watts per square inch, and it's one of the two most expensive, comparable with the Bluetti, at $299. Now, understand that Jackery panel, even though it has very little use on it, we've only used it a couple of times. That panel came out more than a year ago, maybe even 2 years ago. I'd have to check. They may have made some improvements since then. You'd have to check. But it didn't do very well at all. Okay, and the last one is the solid panel, the Bouge 120 watt panel, 902 square inches, 5,822 square centimeters, 108 watts, and even when I tilted it, it stayed at 108 watts. It liked that angle there. 0.120 watts per square inch and a cost of $260. So basically, looking at these panels, number one, by far, and it was way out ahead of the others, is the X-Star SP100. And then the second one for efficiency is the Bouge panel, 120 watt panel. And then the third one for efficiency is the least expensive one, the Itehil at 0.116. Now, the Oupes was right behind it, 0.115, and followed by the Bluetti 120 watt panel at 0.111. They're all real close in efficiency, except for that X-Star panel. That was just so much ahead of the rest that it isn't even funny. But there's other things to consider. One is ease of setting up. The panels where you have 4 panels, those are the hardest to set up because you're messing around with this leg and it's collapsing on this side, and you go over to this one and you're trying to mess with it and then it collapses on the other side. It's not bad, but I mean, they take the longest to set up, the ones that are 4 panels long and low. Those ones are also the least affected by wind because they are so low. So we, like yesterday, we went out to do this same test and we had to stop because it was too windy. But those panels, the low ones, they didn't blow over. All the rest of them did. So there is that. And then the water resistance. Let's talk about that a little bit. I'm going to take a quick look at all these panels and give you a rundown on water and weather resistance. This is the Bouge panel. And the Bouge panel is pretty much waterproof. You can leave this one up in a driving rain and it's going to be okay. I wouldn't leave these connectors laying in the mud or anything, but they're also waterproof. So I think number one for weather resistance is this Bouge panel here. However, I was having a trouble getting this one to tilt. It didn't have a lot of leeway on how you tilt it. It sat up very, very high, and to get it down lower, you had to basically fold the legs up and lean it on something. As for setting up, it wasn't hard to set up. It wasn't the easiest panel to set up either, though. So weather resistance, it's the Bouge panel. Just happened to, I'm not doing these in any particular order at all. This is the Bluetti panel. And by the way, construction-wise, on these 4 panel, there was the Bluetti, the Oupes, and the Itehil were the 4 panel ones that sat the lowest. And construction-wise, the Bluetti 120 watt panel for those style panels is constructed the best. As for water resistance, I think these are okay in a temporary light rain. You'd be all right. I wouldn't leave these out in any pouring rain. All of them have a water resistant zipper here. This panel, I'm just going to call them the way that they all are. Most of them are, as I see them here. This one is light rain. The thing is that I wouldn't leave any of these panels out. If it's a rainy day, what do you got a solar panel out for anyway? Basically though, and if you're heading to the store or something, leaving your campsite, you're going to put these away. You're not going to leave them out in your campsite. I don't think you're going to be leaving any of these panels unattended. And you're not going to have them out in the middle of the night. But if you're taking a nap during the day and it starts to rain, these panels will take a light shower. This Jackery panel, they've changed the design. I'm not sure how. But basically, these Jackeries, you're not supposed to, this particular model Jackery Solo Sega, you're not supposed to leave these out in the rain. The reason on these is because right here, they've got USB and then a USB-C port here, and these are just wide open to the weather and the dust and everything. Once again, I think Jackery has changed their design on that. You'd have to check. Here's the star of the show right here. This X-Star SP100. Or, yeah, SP100, that's right. And once again, these are not, you wouldn't want to leave these out in a driving rain. This does have the water resistant zipper on it. Oh, quality of construction. These are pretty good. I think that because you're always setting it down like this constantly and it's riding in your car or your RV and shaking around, I'd put some Gorilla Tape on the bottom here just to kind of keep the fabric from wearing through. I did that on this Jackery a long time ago. I put Gorilla Tape down here. You can kind of see it, but that protects it. And boy, you can't beat Gorilla Tape. Highly recommended. Sticks to everything. Same thing is with the Oupes here, except for one thing. It's got the water resistant zipper. This fitting here is wide open. The rest of them have a glued on connection here. This one's wide open. And the other thing is, when this is deployed, you have to open this to get this leg down. So there's no way to keep this part sealed up. Even with a water resistant zipper, it doesn't do you any good. So the Oupes is the least weather resistant because you have to leave this open to get this leg out. So the water resistant zipper doesn't do you a whole lot of good. And the last one is the Itehil panel. It has a nice water resistant zipper on it. But inside here on the Itehil, it has a USB connector here, and this is the cord that goes to your power supply that you're trying to charge is open, and it's got a USB port on the other side over here. It's got a USB 2.0 charging port on the side over here too. So it's got two USBs, and then the charging port here. This is not water resistant at all. The one thing you can do on this one though is when it's in use, you can have this zipped up and have the cord just stick out on the bottom side. So it's not, so if it's going to get any rain, it's going to get it on top and the cord can be coming out the bottom. And this one only had 2 legs on it, which are nicely made, by the way. So the setup was a little easier, but it did because it only had 2 legs, 4 panels, 2 legs. It didn't lay as nice as the rest of the panels, but this was the this one was of the top, in the top 3 for efficiency, and this is the cheapest price too. These are not bad panels. This Itehil also has the elastic there that makes that fold up nicely, so it's never hanging down. And the Oupes one here, this is the kind that, see what I mean? So you got to kind of tuck that under every time for every leg. Well, there you go. Hey guys, I hope you like this review. I really did my best and tried to give you the most honest, straightforward review and the most in-depth I could on these 6 solar panels. And if not one of these 6, then it at least gives you something to look for in the other ones that you look at. I hope I helped you. If you liked it, please subscribe. I need you to do that. And also give it a thumbs up. That really helps. Leave a comment. We'll see you around.